Hey everyone, Ben here. Cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. These assets have become immensely popular recently. And these are not just crazy traders and speculators who are investing into these high-risk assets. Some of the major players have also been investing into Bitcoin. Now, it all started with Square, and I did a video on this a while back. So Square actually invested over $50 million into Bitcoin. And then PayPal, which basically sees Square as like the cool kid in the school, PayPal decides to copy Square, and then PayPal also started to accept Bitcoin payments. And I personally think that was the spark which started this inferno in Bitcoin prices, which has seen Bitcoin reach close to $60,000 per coin. And then we have Tesla and the very unique Elon Musk, who swooped in and purchased $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin for Tesla's balance sheet. Now, this move by Elon Musk was originally criticized by Wall Street because Wall Street believed that this would add extra risk to Tesla in the future, and you could see where they're coming from. But it seems Elon Musk is quite the Bitcoin trader, and it's reported that his investment into Bitcoin of $1.5 billion due to the rising price of Bitcoin has actually created more profit for Tesla in 2020 than all the car sales they had combined. And they did have an amazing year of car sales. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin couldn't crash heavy in the future, and to be honest, these are paper profits because Tesla won't realize these gains unless it starts to sell some Bitcoin. And if Tesla starts to sell some Bitcoin, then that could see the price of Bitcoin also take a dive. But in this video, I'm going to dive into some different questions. These are frequently asked questions I've been asked from many of you guys. Usually we cover stocks on this channel, but I've received so many questions about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. I'm going to cover some frequently asked questions in this video. The first question is, how many Bitcoin millionaires are there on this planet? How many Bitcoin billionaires are there on this planet? How many Bitcoins are left to be mined? What happens when the Bitcoin runs out? In this video, I'm going to be covering all those frequently asked questions and many, many more. So I think you guys will really find some value in this video. So before we dive right in, if you do find any value in this video at all, feel free to give it an early thumbs up. That helps out tremendously with the channel. If you're new around here and you still haven't subscribed, feel free to join the investing family by hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. With that being said, let's dive in. Okay, first question. How many Bitcoin millionaires are there? And I'm not just talking about these guys flexing on Instagram, pretending to be Bitcoin millionaires. I'm talking about real millionaires. So let's dive into the cold hard data. So this is just from pure logic at the moment because nobody actually knows the true number of millionaires. But from logic, we can see that with Bitcoin's price at just under $60,000, so $58,000, you need just 17.16 Bitcoins to be a Bitcoin millionaire. And there is currently 18 million Bitcoins in circulation. Thus, using logic, we can see there are a maximum of over 1 million people holding 17.16 Bitcoin. So we could say 1 million people have become Bitcoin millionaires.
Make me a lot of money one day. You know that, right, Bitcoin? How would you like to be Mrs. Bitcoin?
What are you doing, dude?
Hey! I told you to knock!
Now, although Bitcoin can't be removed from the blockchain, if it's put on an external wallet or on a hard drive, and then that hard drive is disposed of in a landfill, then of course that Bitcoin can be lost.
The files that I believed I needed were already on my new computer. The drive was in a drawer on its own after an incident with a previous laptop, and I thought that I'd taken off everything I needed.
You brought the brags down, you threw them in there, didn't think twice before driving off. When did the penny drop that actually what you'd thrown away was worth a fortune?
When I started to hear stories of the Silk Road shut down, and obviously other individuals making their profits and their millions, the penny dropped then, that I had 7,500 Bitcoins on a hard drive that I'd thrown out a few months ago.
What would you do if you had $1 million worth of Bitcoin in a landfill? Would you break in at night and try and find it? Would you try and negotiate with the council? How would you actually try and get that back? Or would you just accept your losses and move on with your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do comment below. So the way we can calculate how many Bitcoins have actually been lost is we can look at when the Bitcoin was last moved. And if the Bitcoin hasn't been moved for a significant period of time, then we could deem that the Bitcoin is lost. So this is the logic that this website's gone into here to actually determine the amount of Bitcoins possibly lost. So one recent estimate is that about 3 to 4 million Bitcoins are lost forever. Now it's impossible to know an exact number since a lost Bitcoin looks exactly the same on the blockchain. Okay, on to question number 2. How many Bitcoin billionaires are there? Now, unsurprisingly, there are not as many Bitcoin billionaires as there are millionaires. But I was actually speaking to a friend of mine who works for JP Morgan in Dubai, and he was stating he's actually come into contact with quite a few Bitcoin billionaires. So we have the Winklevoss twins, who are actually Bitcoin billionaires, but they actually drive an old SUV. So it's clear that Bitcoin billionaire wealth has not changed them in any way. So who has the most Bitcoins in the world? Well, most likely this is Satoshi, the secretive founder of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high of over $100,000 per Bitcoin, which has been predicted by many people such as Chamath Palihapitiya, the venture capitalist, then Satoshi will actually become the richest person on the planet, surpassing Jeff Bezos and also Elon Musk. This is a sign of the speculative times we live in. But of course, if Bitcoin crashes heavily, then this guy's wealth will also be decimated. So how much Bitcoin is left to be mined, and what happens when Bitcoin runs out? Well, according to this website here, there are over 2,342,900 Bitcoins left to be mined. But here's the crazy part. Already 88.843% of Bitcoins have already been mined. And in total, 21 million Bitcoins can be mined. So once them 21 million Bitcoins are mined, that's it. We've run out of Bitcoin. Or have we? Well, yes, we have run out of Bitcoin, because that's arguably what can give Bitcoin its potential value. Because you can't just print more Bitcoin the same way you can print fiat currency, like the central bank in the US seems to do almost every week. So if there are only 2.3 million Bitcoins left to be mined, shouldn't we be running out very soon? Well, not exactly. Current estimates with the current mining technology predict there are around 900 Bitcoins added per day to the blockchain. Now that's only 900 Bitcoins per day. So according to these estimates, it will basically take till the year 2140, and that is when the last Bitcoin will ever be mined. But of course, if technology does improve in the meantime, which I do believe it will, especially computing technology, then that number could seriously be brought down a lot. So if somebody finds a really efficient way of mining Bitcoin, then that could be a catalyst for the price in the future, and also create this scarcity, as Bitcoin prices, like many speculative assets, are governed by supply and demand. And if supply is reduced, this will create more demand and thus a price increase of Bitcoin. Okay, so what about all the other cryptocurrencies? What about Ethereum? What about Ripple? Well, Ethereum's quite an interesting one with many potential applications such as NFTs or non-fungible tokens. Now, I did a full video on those, which you might want to check out. I'll leave a link for that video in the description below. So Ethereum does seem to have the most practical applications right now. However, the issue with Ethereum is it's not limited in supply like Bitcoin. So according to this study here, there are a little over 100 million Ethereum in existence, and there is no real cap on the total number of Ethereum that can come into existence like there is with Bitcoin. Now, this video is not financial advice, guys, and I'm not telling you guys to go and run off and invest into Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. It must be stated these are still very speculative assets. I wouldn't even call them true investments. I'd call them speculation, because you're basically buying it on the assumption that somebody else will pay more for it in the future. But if you guys do want to invest into cryptocurrency, and I've had many requests from you guys, then a great platform I think you guys should potentially check out is Etoro. And it's not just because you can obviously buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and all the other different coins on there. It's because on Etoro, you can also invest into stocks. So real businesses, real companies with real profits and real cash flows, which is generally what I specialize in on this channel. So if you guys want to check out Etoro, I'll leave a link for it in the description below. If you guys found some value in this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. That helps out tremendously with the channel. If you're new around here and you still haven't subscribed, feel free to join the investing family by hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an incredible day, and I'll see you in my next video. Invest safe.